The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com. It is 4:02 p.m. here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Time for the 4 p.m. 411, which begins at 4:02. My name is Loyd Kirby. I'm the marketing manager here, and during the next half hour, we bring you conversations with folks from around the area with who've either done something interesting or something to share with that we think folks would be interested in, and today's guest is no exception. Many people would say we're living in a very digital technological age with all the advances in technology and communication, and I can touch buttons on my watch and order a pizza, or I can grab my phone and have a visual conversation with my daughter and son-in-law and grandkids in another state. So definitely a digital age, but as Mark Twain, I think, to revise what he said, the reports of the death of print are greatly exaggerated. According to the American Booksellers Association, approximately 300 independent bookstores opened in 2023, and even big retail giant Barnes & Noble opened about 60 more stores in 2024 with plans to do about 60 more in 2025. And with the weather as it is, hello Mabel, with the weather as it is, curling up by a fire and grabbing a nice book and passing the time is certainly a favorite pastime of many. And now, if you would like to do so and find some reading material to do so with, you don't have to go out of town to do so, as we have Julie Bates here, the owner of Ink and Imprint's book. So Julie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. So again, we're in sort of a technology, an age. What was the inspiration behind opening a bookstore in Lincoln?
I think I personally had been missing having a bookstore in Lincoln. I used to go to Prairie Years occasionally. But also, I think there are a number of factors that have led to all, the stats you had about how many bookstores are opening. I think a lot of people are getting tired of being on screens all the time and maybe are going back to print books a little bit more. I think COVID, for all of its faults, actually helped people engage with reading again more that hadn't been reading as much. And actually the other part too that I think has made a big difference is technology. Book Talk, Instagram, Facebook. People are talking about books and what they're reading, and really popular books are getting a whole new following through social media now. And so I think people are becoming more apt to share what they like about reading and to share what they're reading. And so it's kind of bred this new it's not one generation, it's many generations, but of people who are really interested in reading and books. And so I think as I was seeing downtown Lincoln, more businesses growing down there, it's become a little bit more vibrant in the last few years again. Mm-hmm. I just kept thinking that a bookstore would be a really nice addition.
Sure. And Prairie Years, of course, was there in that. Is it the exact same location?
Just down from where we are.
Yeah, I knew it was in the same block. So, and that's been gone several years.
I'm not sure exactly.
Frame. So, customers visit the store. What will they find there?
A little bit of everything. In fact, a couple from Bloomington just came in today, and that's exactly what they said. They're like, "Wow, you really have a selection of everything." So I tried to start with a little of all the things, and then now I'm having a lot more people come and request certain things, or I'm starting to gauge community interest a little bit more, so certain sections will probably be growing and changing. But I have adult fiction and nonfiction, a wide variety, general fiction, a lot of mystery, romance, fantasy. Those are very popular. Mm-hmm. Young adult, same thing, fiction and nonfiction. For nonfiction, it's a little bit of everything, a little sports, self-help, business, nature, biography, history, just, the general run-of-the-mill nonfiction stuff, and then a pretty good-sized kids section with board books, picture books, middle grades, some nonfiction there too, but a lot of fiction for the kids as well. Some gift items as well, bookish things, bookmarks, book lights, a little assortment of, seasonal things. So I'm getting out some Valentine's Day related stuff now and everything.
Okay, that was going to be one of my next questions was, do you have a, like a seasonal, like February, of course, Valentine's Day, February is Black History Month, maybe a section of African American authored books that you'll be showcasing or highlighting, or will you do things like that? Or, what are your plans for that?
I am learning very quickly that you have to plan well in advance to order certain types of books, and so I feel like I'm still starting a little bit behind, but my Valentine's books are slowly coming out, and then we'll move on to other events like President's Day or Black History Month, and trying to at least have something there for any of those major sorts of holidays or events that come up. I have a round table that I always try to put new releases on. I try to stay up with new releases, as well as a small bookstore can. So a Frida McFadden book released today, and I had copies of that out for people. And I can't get every new release in, but at least a handful here and there each week as they're coming out.
Okay, and I was going to ask you about that being a smaller retailer in a more rural area. Is it difficult for you to get particular titles or particular releases, whereas the big box store type of bookstore might have a little more, be able to grease some palms and get things a little more easily? Yeah,
there was a really big fantasy romantasy book that came out last week, and I learned that the earlier you get your order in, like months earlier, if it's a really popular book, the more likely you are to get it on release date. I wasn't open many months ago, so I couldn't, but I did put the order in pretty early. I got it about 12 hours later than I had hoped. But definitely ordering early helps. And I don't know, I'm sure that there are some of the big box stores have advantages in ordering big quantities and everything. But so far, the main supplier I work with and the one publisher I've worked with so far, they've sent things pretty quickly.
Nice.
And, sometimes I can put in an order on Sunday and have books by Tuesday, which is pretty good. Yeah. Even through the holidays, it was fairly consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, very cool.
Yeah.
Where is the store located?
125 North Kickapoo Street. It's in the Integrity Data Building, what is the Scully Building.
Okay. And what kind of hours of operation do you have?
Well, that's an interesting question. They vary. I'm always closed Monday, and I try to be open all the other days of the week. I am an English professor at Millikan, and I teach over there, and so I work my bookstore hours around my schedule there, and I'm trying to get to consistently 10 to 4 Tuesday, 1 to 5 Wednesday, 3 to 7 Thursday. What day am I on? 1 to 5 Friday, 10 to 4 Saturday, and 10 to 2 Sunday. I'm close, but I'm here today, and so I closed a little early, and got to go to the vet Friday, things like that.
Yeah,
but
life happens.
So,
if folks are interested in learning more about the bookstore, do you have a website? Do you have social media presences?
Yes. inkandimprintbooks.com is the website, and Facebook, it's Ink and Imprint Books, and Instagram, I think it's actually Ink Imprint Books. They wouldn't let me put the and in there.
You're sticklers about that sometimes. So once again, our guest is Julie Bates. She is the owner of Ink and Imprint's Books. If you have questions or would like to ask Julie about anything about the store, or I guess literature, or maybe an English question, maybe someone needs to conjugate a verb or something, 217-648-5510, the number to call. Or you can email us your question, 4pm411@wlcnonline.com. We'll go ahead and take our first break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes with more with Julie Bates.
This is Corporal Brian Clements with the Lincoln Police Department. This week, Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers is seeking information in reference to a shooting that occurred on December 30th, 2024 at approximately 7 to 8 p.m. in the area of the North Jefferson Street near the Logan County Fairgrounds. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries from a small caliber gunshot. At this time, 323,000 or the Lincoln Police Department at 217-732-2151. Tips leading to an arrest could receive a cash reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers only wants your information, not your name.
The Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week is brought to you by Me Realty, supporting a thriving community safe for families through support of the Crime Stoppers program. Me Realty, 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here with Julie Bates, who is the owner of Ink and Imprint Books. Was there a certain inspiration for the name that you
I'm just laughing because when we decided to open the bookstore, our family was brainstorming, and we quickly discovered that all of the interesting and obvious names you would think for a bookstore are taken, and often 7 times over. Wow. And so my husband, Glenn, even was putting words in AI and having it spit out other words, and we were just kind of riffing on it, and somehow we settled on Ink and Imprint, and it kind of stuck. It's unique. As far as we know, there aren't any others like it. So,
okay. Well,
yeah.
You're one of a kind. So I was browsing through your social media, through Facebook specifically. It looks like you've been having a lot of things going on at the store, not just retail, selling books, but as far as events and having the public in. What are some of the things you've been up to as of late?
Yeah, so I did a soft opening right after Thanksgiving and was open through holiday shopping season. But then this last week was really kind of grand opening week when I had enough of a feel for things where I was ready to officially say, okay, we're fully open. And so the first event was when I mentioned the book that came a little bit late. Onyx Storm was a big romantasy book published by Rebecca Yaros that came out last Tuesday, and so it's one that was getting a lot of buzz. A lot of people were doing launch parties, and so I decided to have one, and it was very cold that day, and I thought maybe 4 people would come, and I had over 30 who came out and had some dragon cookies that I had made, and I had some stickers and giveaway items, and they played trivia because it's the third book in a series. We did trivia mostly over the first book, but it was very competitive and a lot of fun, and the winners got prizes, and it was a really great turnout.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then a couple days later, we did Tremont Bank hosted a story time event where they read stories for an hour and a half, basically. Anytime a new couple of kids had come in, they'd read some more stories, and there were cookies, and it was a great chance to get some new, younger kids that hadn't been in there before into the store.
Is that going to be sort of an ongoing, regularly occurring event, or was it just sort of a one-time thing?
We tried it out, and we talked about maybe continuing to do something like that here and there. I definitely would like to do story time on occasion. The hard part's figuring out the best time that works for families when it would work for them to come in. Yeah. But I hope to do more of that in the future.
All right. And something exciting happening at the store today as far as... we talked about this being the digital age and the bookstore.
Just today. So I love it if anyone's local, if they come in and physically visit and buy books. But sometimes people are out of town or are supporting the bookstore who used to live here, family, friends, and they can order books and have them shipped to their house through bookshop.org. You make sure and you select Ink and Imprint Books as your local bookstore, and then much like I get some of the money when I sell a book. I get some of the money when a book is sold through Bookshop. Well, today Bookshop launched ebooks.
Oh, wow.
And so now there is a Bookshop app that you can download on tablet, phone, Android, iPhone, whatever, and you can purchase ebooks on the Bookshop website. Again, make sure you pick Ink and Imprint Books as your bookstore first,
Right.
and then you can get ebooks just like you would with that big retailer whose name I shall not mention on the air.
Okay. And so the selections then are basically limitless. So
Yeah, I think so. They have a lot of books already, and they're adding more, they said, as they go with the ebooks. But yes, then you're not limited to what I have in the store. Between their print books are extensive, and then now the ebooks too. They'll keep adding to that selection, and they plan to even have independently published authors on there. I also have Libro FM, which is similar to Audible. Is it actually just like Audible in terms of the credits and how it works for people who like audiobooks?
Oh, okay.
And so the same thing, they select Ink and Imprint Books, and they can support the bookstore and get audiobooks. A lot of people go back and forth between tablets, audio, print books, and it gives them the options to do all those things. So
more than just the hardcover books that are available.
Yep.
So,
Info's on my website, Facebook, all those places. So.
Okay. And I'm admittedly ignorant about the technology with ebooks. I know there used to be different types of devices that you could read books.
Yep.
Is that still the case?
So if you have a Kindle, which is probably one of the most common ones, you can download the Bookshop app and use it on a Kindle, but you can use it on an iPad, iPhone, even on the computer. You can, I think it's pretty much anywhere you can download apps for Android or iPhone, you get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
So I learned something. So, once again, our guest is Julie Bates. She is the owner of Ink and Imprint Books, located in downtown Lincoln. We'll go ahead and take our second break now. We've got one more to take here, so we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll be back. If you have questions of Julie, 217-648-5510, the number to call, or you can email your questions, 4pm411@WLCNonline.com. We want to invite you to tune in to tomorrow's Viewpoint program when host Dara Entwistle will have representatives from the Lincoln Park District in the studio. That begins at 8 a.m. And then next week here on the 4PM 411, Mayor Tracy Welch normally is here the first Tuesday of the month, but we switch things up a little bit. We will have representatives from Lincoln Community Theater here as they have a fundraising event coming up on Valentine's Day, which you can learn more about next week when they're here. But as I said, right now we have Julie Bates. We'll be back with more with her right after this.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Hello, Lincoln and Logan County. This is Chris Grau from Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln. When it comes time to choose someone to repair your car, truck, or SUV, don't you think you'd feel more comfortable working with the local people you know and trust? Our team in Service, Parts, and Detail have the tools, training, and knowledge that will get your repairs done quickly with less downtime and at the right price. Call the local pros at 217-735-4444 at Grau Chevrolet Buick on North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln.
An accident or injury can happen any day. If you're living without health insurance, now is the time to find a health insurance plan to protect you and your family. New, low-cost plans cover doctor's visits, hospital stays, prescriptions, preventative care, and more. And you could get a tax credit to help you afford insurance. So call me, Dara Entwistle, 217-737-7581 to help you find a plan that's right for you.
And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 here for another few minutes with owner Julie Bates, owner of the Ink and Imprint Books store near downtown Lincoln there on North Kickapoo Street. We talked about some of the events that you've had going on at the store there. What else might you have coming down the pike here that folks would be interested in?
A couple of things. Whenever I can, I'm trying to feature local authors. I have a whole big table of independently and more traditionally published local authors in the bookstore. Dave Bishop, whose farm is very near here, Prairie Earth Farm, is coming out with a book of poetry and photography. So we're doing a book launch party for him on February 9th. I'm also participating in some of the downtown Lincoln events for Valentine's Day. So there's a Galentine's Day shopping event, and then a chocolate themed shopping event. Chocolate Retail Therapy is on February 8th, and Galentine's is, I believe, February 13th. I'm trying to work on getting going a book club at the bookstore each month. Everyone will work together to pick out a book and read it and come together to talk. Probably March I'll start that. So if people are interested, let me know. I'm also supporting other book clubs. You know, if they have a book and they want me to order copies, the Bee downtown in Lincoln is doing a book club here at the end of January and early February for the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. So I've been coordinating to help get that book in and get that going and everything. So.
Okay. And if folks are interested in a particular title but not necessarily part of a book club, is that something that you can special order?
Yes. I've been doing a lot of special orders lately because despite my attempts at getting something for everyone, sometimes people have specific books that aren't on my shelves. And so yes, I regularly do orders. Older, more obscure books, I haven't quite figured out that part yet, but newer books definitely, and people can also pre-order if there's a book they're really excited about that's not out yet. We can even get in that pre-order, so you have a good chance of getting it when it comes out.
Okay, and so is that information like, what kind of information? I haven't browsed your website extensively, so are there titles there, or are there coming attractions there that folks can there?
Not too much of that. You can definitely, anywhere you find a book that you're interested in, I can probably get it in just as easy as any of the other places you might get books from. Bookshop's a great place to look at upcoming new releases. You can call 217-217-1200, email inkandimprintbooks@gmail.com. There's a contact form on the website. Send a message through Facebook. Lots of ways to reach me if you do have book questions or book requests.
And so we talked about sort of where the name came from and the sort of the why as far as why you decided to open a bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
What is there a particular genre or particular type of book that you yourself enjoy curling up with that that folks maybe aren't familiar with, or maybe that might be able to spark their interest in it?
It's hard because I read a little bit of everything, except I keep getting told I need to read more mysteries based on people coming in and recommending them to me. I read a general fiction. I go back and forth between general fiction, nonfiction. I just recently started reading fantasy books, and I'm having a lot of fun reading those too. I try to read YA books too. A lot of them are really interesting, and I have kids, so I still read a lot of kids' books.
Okay.
I do truly read a little bit of all the stuff I have in this store.
All right. Well, there you go. And then I also, in browsing your social media presence, I also saw some post about donations and accepting donations. Can you talk a little bit about how that works?
I have a cute little corner with a shelf that's used books, and so far most of them have come from my own house, and I'm excited to start expanding the selection. And so anyone who has newer, really in good shape used books, because my spot for it is small and I have no storage, I'm just doing about 8 books at a time, but they're welcome to bring them in Sundays or Tuesdays when I'm open, and then they get a coupon for a discount off their next purchase in return for bringing in the books. I got a whole stack in today, actually, that I'm excited to get out. And some comic books, too, which is fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything.
Yep.
So let's talk down the road. A year from now, 5 years from now, what do you see for Ink and Imprint's books as far as things you would like to do and niches you would like to fill?
I think continuing to really support and get the word out about local authors and maybe regional authors is really important. There's a lot already in the bookstore, but I keep learning about more every few days, and so having book launch events or author signings, but also trying to bring in some bigger authors from elsewhere too. If I can pull that off, I think would be really great. Whenever I can, I'm going to add more shelves and add more books to keep the selection going. I think a writing group, maybe, like I said, the book club, just ways to interact more with the community and get the community coming in and keep them excited about books is really the goal.
And then you mentioned book clubs. You mentioned starting a book club, but just to be clear, you also will help sort of facilitate things if folks have
Yes.
a book club elsewhere that doesn't necessarily meet at your store, that,
Yep.
that they're looking for particular titles.
Exactly. Yep. Happy to help order in a whole stack. I had 24 copies of the book for the Bee Book Club that came in today.
okay.
So,
Right.
yep.
And then if folks are interested in something like that, what sort of I guess it probably varies from title to title, but is there sort of an average turnaround time? Like how far in advance would they need to let you know, hey, I'm starting a book club and we want to talk about this book? And
The farther in advance, the better. The Bee one, I just put in that order a couple weeks ago, and they probably would have come sooner, but that book is really in demand right now, so it was a little bit back ordered. If it's a really new, popular book, the sooner we get the order in, the better. But if it's been out for a little while and is in stock, even a couple weeks notice, and I can certainly have them there. But you always want to give people time to get the book and actually read it before
Sure.
the book club, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, we've been talking with Julie Bates. She is the owner of Ink and Imprint Books. In case folks tuned in late, can you tell us again where the store is, and you want to try and run through the hours again?
Oh gosh, sure. It's 125 North Kickapoo. It's on the side of the Integrity Data Building in downtown Lincoln, and the general hours, but please check Facebook for the most up-to-date information, or Google, are closed Mondays, open 10 to 4 Tuesdays, 1 to 5 Wednesdays, 3 to 7 Thursdays, 1 to 5 Fridays, 10 to 4 Saturdays, and 10 to 2 Sundays.
Okay. So definitely check, unless you got
Check online.
Yeah, unless you got a photographic memory,
Right.
I guess, to remember those. So anything we haven't mentioned or touched on that you wanted to be sure
Oh
that
my
we ran
gosh.
through?
Let me see on my note if
absolutely.
well, my daughter Emma, who's 9, sells her candles at my bookstore. I forgot to
okay.
mention that part. She started a candle business. I think we touched on most of it. I'm just really excited for people to come in and for me to get a better sense of what people in the community are reading or want to read.
All right, very good. So once again, our guest has been Julie Bates here with the Ink and Imprint books. Once again, tomorrow on the Viewpoint program with Dara Entwistle, she will have representatives from Lincoln Park District. And then here on the 4 p.m. 411 next week, we will have a couple folks from Lincoln Community Theater talking about their upcoming fundraiser / Valentine's Day event. But for now, thanks to Julie for joining us, and we'll be back next week with the 4 p.m. 411.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.